Welcome to another episode, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. This young man went from D1 offers to play football to life without parole in prison at the age of 18. Now, he's very emotional, understandably. We all end up having these revelations once it's a little too late, but it may not be too late for him, in fact, as we listen to the story. Let's get into it. Stay out of here.
I played football out there. I was actually an athlete. I got invited to Stanford, USC, ASU, Nike tours and stuff playing. I went to a party and one of the people I was with ended up, shooting and someone got killed. Everything just hit me like a ton of bricks right then and there. Like I realized like the lie that I was
Why do you feel emotional about that? What's up, Aaron? Thank you for being in Between the Lines podcast with us. I just want to get to know you and ask you about who were you before this whole...
Shout out to In Between the Lines. That's the name of this channel right here, or Between the Lines. They go around, they do these prison interviews. They get inside of the prison and talk to these young men, as I've played some on my channel here. And, a lot of these young individuals have life without parole, 18 years old, 19, 20, 25. Some of them been locked up 6 years, 8 years, 9 years, started off at 18 years old with no end in sight. But it's oftentimes for a temporary lapse in judgment. Again, 20 seconds to get in trouble, 20 years to get out of trouble. But let him speak.
experience?
Okay. Well, before this whole experience, I came to jail when I was 18. I was still in high school, and I played football out there. I was actually an athlete, and I played football, and I was actually really good at it, like really good. Like I was getting a lot of college look-ats. I was going to visit a lot of colleges and stuff. Like right before I got locked up, before that season started, I got invited to Stanford, USC, ASU, and I was just going on my college camps, the Nike tours and stuff playing. So I had several scholarships and colleges looking at me that I could have went to, but just the struggles of being a teenager, I guess, kind of got in my way more because I went to one of those schools where like football is God there, like literally.
Where are you from?
I'm from LA, but I went to school in Norco High School. So at that school right there, it was like football was everything. Like if you're good on that team, you play varsity, you contribute, they let you get away with everything. Not like that in a bad way, but they just treat you,
You're like the big dog on campus.
Yeah, exactly. Like they do you like that. And I wasn't doing everything I was supposed to in the classroom like I was on the field. So as my senior year came playing and stuff like that, and I had all these expectations to go to college and stuff like that. A lot of my teammates, my peers, my friends was going to school and stuff like that, getting scholarships. I was kind of faking it, I guess you could say, because I was doing everything on the field, but my classroom wasn't caught up. So by the time that happened, I remember our last game of the year, our semifinal game. When that game ended, we were expected to go to the championship, and when that game ended, like, everything just hit me like a ton of bricks right then and there. Like I realized like the lie that I was
Why do you feel emotional about that?
It's that gets me every time I think about it, just because like my life that I was living, like everybody being so proud of me, and I just wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So I realized like at that moment, like my lies, I couldn't lie no more. Like,
yeah, what you're witnessing and what he's experiencing is a lifetime of regret, all bottled up in one emotion coming out, projecting itself. I mean, you sit back and you live your life, get caught up in a situation, you end up going to prison, and now you're reflecting upon your life and what could have been, what should have been, what you could have done different. As he said, all of the people that were proud of him, because in this environment, no one is saying good job. No one is saying that they're proud of you. No one is showing you any love. there's nothing but misery and hatred. And so, you end up going from an environment where you're being loved and supported into an environment where you're literally on your own. It causes you to reflect upon your life. But again, there's still hope for this young man. There's still hope for this individual, as it is for most of us, for many of us. But we must grasp that hope and move forward with it.
Like I couldn't. It was football season's over. Am I gonna get these scholarships? Am I gonna be signing to college like my friends and stuff? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. So I dropped out of school. Like I just left it all alone. And
what do you mean the lies you were telling yourself?
Like
what does that mean?
Like
why does it make you so like emotional?
Just because like so many people like sacrificed a lot for me to play football, for me to live out there, for me to go to that school. And they really like was proud of me. And I like them being proud of me, that's really where it hurt at, because later on I realized that my identity was built on like the praise that I got for what I did. So instead of me being Aaron and being proud of being Aaron, I was the football player. Like that was my identity, the football player, the one to make everybody proud, the one that was doing good, that was supposed to go somewhere and do something with my life. And all that praise that I was getting, that's where my confidence came from. Like that's where my self-worth came from. So when that ended, and like I like to say, my lies ended, I didn't know who I was no more. Like it's crazy. But I didn't have that same identity, that self-worth.
Right.
So that's when I dropped out of school, like
very insightful from this young man, very reflective and insightful. And, it's not just a prison thing, but of course this lends to it, because you go to prison, you have nothing but time to think about your life and where your life went wrong and how you can correct things. It's just unfortunate that many of us, and I've done over 30 years of incarceration, for those who may not know, we get this, this light bulb moment too late sometimes. But again, fortunately, it may not be too late for him. So far, he's sentenced to life without parole. But as we continue, we'll see what his situation is, and things may be about to change for him, like legitimately. And he may have a chance. Hopefully, he does have a chance. It seems like, I'll let him explain, where he can, make it back home soon and be a productive member of society, contribute to this society, contribute to the world, rather than be a liability and someone who takes away or abuses society, who preys upon society in any way. I used to be that individual myself, and it's just not worth it. And it's not good as a human being, as a man, to prey upon anyone. We all have to do better, man. But the brother seems rather intelligent, particularly for his age. Not sure how old he is now. I'm sure we're about to see, because he caught this time when he was 18, life without parole. So let's see how long ago that was, 6 years, 7 years, if he's 24, 25 years old now, or what the situation is.
Like, I was just hanging out, just teenager, moved out my house, just, outside, my friends and stuff, they live in certain lifestyles, doing certain things. And I just noticed that certain things that they was doing, they was getting a lot of praise in the streets for it. Like, a lot of people was giving them that same energy. And to me, that kind of felt like the same energy that I used to get on the field, even though some of it was negative. So I started like hanging out more and doing things that I shouldn't do. And that was fulfilling me. It was giving me another image, I guess you could say, something that I could feel comfortable with. And I kind of got lost in that. And I came to jail. I don't know if I talk about my crime or anything.
No, you haven't.
So I had a lot of friends out there that was rapping, it was a big like thing going on in LA at the time, in Southern California, like a bunch of rapping and stuff like that. And, you know, just the stuff we was doing, the lifestyle that we was living, you know, basically we homeless. Like, we don't really think of it like that because we just all teenagers living at each other's house. Sometimes I had to sleep in my car. Like, we just thought it was cool, we hanging out, but in reality, we really was homeless. Like, we didn't have no jobs, we didn't have no money, no income.
Where were your parents at during this time?
They were still at home, and you know, they was upset. Like, a lot of people was trying to get in contact with me to see what's up with me going to college, with me going to school, and I just like lost contact with people. I had like, I kind of got into it with my dad. He was disappointed with my behavior, with me not doing what I was supposed to do, and I just kind of like, I just stayed away from my family, partly because, you know, I moved out and the things we got into, and partly because of just shame. Like I didn't really want to be around everybody like that. So
if you could go back and talk to you in that younger version of you, what would you say at that time?
At that time, I would have told myself first and foremost that I'm not defined necessarily by what I do as far as who I am as a person. Like, I'm smart, intelligent, I'm friendly.
Yes, you are. And I can see exactly what he's saying. I'm sure many of you can relate as well to being wrapped up, caught up into your image. He's a football player, getting all the girls, family proud of him. Everyone is, praising him. And then it all stops. And now you have to figure out what else you are, what else your identity is, because this has been your identity for so long. This praise is no longer about to be heaped upon you. You're no longer a football player, not in this way, not in this sense. The groupies are about to go away. Now you're thinking, well, who am I? What do I do? Not to excuse it, but I'm just saying I relate to what he's saying.
Like, I know how to communicate. I know how to talk to people. I know how to get along with people. Like, I have a lot of stuff to provide that makes me a good person, that makes me whole. I didn't need football to make me somebody. I didn't need to hang out in the streets to make me somebody. I didn't need to seek all these things to be someone. I already am someone, you feel me? I'm good enough. And I would just tell myself that, man, like, love yourself, be patient, and work hard. Like, cause it seemed like everything that I was doing, whether it was like the streets, the rapping, the football, I worked hard at that. Like, I put my everything in it. But it's a way bigger picture than that. It's way more that comes with that. If I want to be a rapper, I can't be out here committing crimes and just living how I want to. I'll never make it. If I want to play football, I can't just be sleeping in the classroom or not going to class. Like, I'll never make it.
Yeah, you can't have one foot in and one foot out of anything that you do, right?
Exactly.
So what was the crime that you committed?
So I'm incarcerated for it's called robbery murder, the felony murder rule, but they recently changed that rule with a law called SB 1437, saying that, because the old law used to say that if you commit a robbery and someone dies in the commission of it, then everyone's held accountable.
Right.
Well, I went to a party without, I don't know how much I can say, but I went to a party and
don't say too much.
Basically, went to go.
And yeah, that is true. First of all, that used to be the law. He's saying, I wasn't aware of it, but that the law has changed. What did he say, 8B 1437 or something? The new law, the law has changed, but the law used to be that if you and your friends, whomever, you and someone else, 2 other people, 3 other people, 5 other people, 10 other people, 1 other person, go rob someone, beat someone, whatever the crime may be that you're committing, and that person dies in the commission of that crime, no matter whom it is that killed the person. If it's a robbery and it's 4 of you all, and one of your homeboys or the person that you're with decides to open fire on the person and kill them, you will be charged with murder. All 4 of you will be charged with murder. It doesn't matter that you didn't kill him, you ain't had nothing to do with the killing. You was just there to rob. You ain't know he lost it, put out his gun and shot this dude. Man, what are you doing, man? He just here to rob him. It don't matter. You're going down for murder too. That's how the law used to be. He's saying the law has since changed, but I'll let him explain the change in the law.
Get some weed, and I ended up taking it. I wasn't supposed to, and as I left to leave the scene, you know, get in the car to leave, some other people that I came with that I didn't know, a couple of them specifically, but they had an altercation with the people that I just interacted with and left. And as I'm leaving, one of the people I was with ended up, you know, shooting, and someone got killed.
So it wasn't you?
Yeah, no, I'm not incarcerated for the murder. I'm locked up for the robbery. But because of the old law, everyone's held responsible for that death. But now, because of this law that changed, basically you can't be held responsible for the death of somebody unless it's certain circumstances, like, you know, if you had intent to kill or certain things like that. But I don't fall any under that. I'm actually in courts right now to get resentenced. So ultimately, when they resentence me, they're gonna remove the murder and the life without parole sentence that I have, and they're gonna resentence me to robbery, and I'll be time served. So they'll be letting me go home soon.
When that happened, did you know the weight of like the situation?
That's where I stopped it at earlier when I saw this, so I don't know what else he's about to say, but there you have it. He has a chance at life. From D1 football offers to life without parole, even though he didn't pull any trigger, according to everything he's saying here. He was just with the individual that did pull the trigger. But again, that is the law. That was the law. That's all you need to do is be there and be involved in the crime. Whether the crime is murder or not, you're involved in the crime, you're done. They're going to charge you with it as well. But the law has since changed, according to what we're listening to now, according to what this young man is saying. The law has since changed to where, you know, if you did not unalive the person or intend to or any of that stuff, then you will not be held responsible. So as he just said, he's on his way. He's in the courts now. Not on his way to court. He's in the courts now to get resentenced, get the murder off of his jacket, just be resentenced for a robbery, time served, because obviously he's been in there for some time already. Don't know how long, waiting on him to say that. So he has a chance at life, but to come home soon, you know, whenever it goes through the process, this paperwork and this law, what have you, goes through its process, he'll be released. So it's not how you start, young man, it's how you finish. You know, you have to remember this stuff while you're in there. How you feel right now, these tears, these emotions. We have to remember this when we get out here on the street. I do as well. I have to remember everything that I went through in there, and it was hell. To be sure, it was hell. I wanted out, man. Every day I thought about freedom. I'm talking about from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. That's all I could think about was getting the hell out of there. And I have to remember that now every day on the street. So does he when he gets out, and so does everyone who's been through that hellish experience that is prison.
Or was it a common thing for you for people to just get killed like that? Like what was going through your head with the feeling after that?
It was so crazy, right? And because when I think about a lot of this stuff, like when I was getting a little emotional, I just think about my immaturity. Like I was so immature, like literally I was so immature, and it trips me out all the time. It kind of hurts when I think about it. I'm glad I came a long way, but at that time, first of all, I didn't know anybody got killed. I didn't know anyone got shot. I didn't know any of that happened. I just know like what I was involved in, and I left. I didn't know any of that happened. And I didn't find out until I was arrested. And you know, they told me what I was arrested for. And I was lost. Like I really didn't know. Like I didn't know this happened. I didn't understand that I could be locked up for that and a robbery at the same time, but be charged with that. I didn't know anything about a felony murder law. I didn't know any of those things. So I was really lost. I was lost. 18 years old in the county. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what these laws mean. I don't know what time I'm facing. I didn't know that I was facing life without parole.
And you didn't know what that is.
I didn't even know what it is. It was a whirlwind.
Like,
yeah, it was a whirlwind. I really didn't know these things. And
so coming in here, what was your mindset? And like, if you look back at the 18-year boy that came in, talk a little bit about Did you have remorse? Have you taken accountability even?
That's just it. These young dudes, these so-called YNs out here turned up. Excuse me. Not understanding the law, not understanding what really goes on in the jailhouse, in prison, and inside of these courtrooms where once they get you in there, they're trying to keep you. It's hell to get out, bro. Period. It's hell to get out. And as he said, he didn't even know any of this stuff. He didn't even know the law. But he's out there, committing crimes. He didn't commit unaliving or whatever. But as he said, he took some marijuana, whatever. He out there roughing it, bro. Sleeping in cars, out there hanging out with his boys. Done disconnected from his family. We'll see if he says, but I'll bet you $1 to a donut that none of them boys are there now. His family, the ones that he shunned, turned his back on, they may be there. If anyone is there, it would be them. But the ones that he turned his back on them for, his comrade, they're not there. He has life without parole. They're nowhere to be found. They started trying to get with his girl a week after he was locked up, and they knew it was serious and he might not be coming home. They started trying to, do the nasty with her. And she probably did it.
So yes, maybe you weren't the one who committed that exact crime, but the whole situation, right? Like, how do you feel about that?
From day one, really, from when I found out what I was locked up for, I didn't know the person on my case. And it blew my mind. Like, everything just hit me, like, because I didn't just think about that moment. I thought about everything that led up to that. And it really broke my heart. I'm gonna just be honest that me feeling lost like I was and kind of like careless, that I could be involved in some actions that could lead to the loss of life of somebody else. Like, that was hard to sit with for me, because I think about all this turmoil that I was in and how I was feeling, but somebody lost their life. I'm still here. I still could have, made different choices. I could still get better, but that person didn't get that chance. And yeah, that was tough. That was real tough, because even when you selfish, your actions still affect other people. So it's really never good. Like it's never good to be in that situation where it's like the world is on my shoulders, woe is me and stuff like that, kind of like a victim mentality. Yet I'm still being an aggressor in other areas of my life. That's not fair. That's not fair that person didn't, get to whatever life he could have lived, whatever potential he could have had. He didn't get that chance, and that was terrible for me, honestly. And I just, like you asked, 18 years old coming in here, first I leaned on my faith. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what my journey had ahead of me. But I just had to stay strong. Like, I knew it was for a purpose. It was for a reason. And I didn't want to ever feel the way I felt leading up to this. I didn't ever want to feel like that. So really my mission was to just find out who I am.
And have you done that here?
Yes, definitely. Definitely I have. It's been a powerful journey of figuring out who I am. And
how would you describe the man that you are now?
The man I am now is, first, I'm humble. I'm patient. I'm kind. I'm giving. I focus on watching my emotions, watching my judgment, no matter if it's the littlest thing, like watching the thoughts that come to my mind, always being aware of myself and being someone for the people. Like, my biggest thing is always treat others the way that I would like to be treated. And I live by that. That's very important. Like that respect line, respecting everyone's right to be what they are, to do what they are, to live how they are. Even if I don't personally agree with it, that's not my business. I don't have the right to judge on that. I don't have the right to interfere with that. Let everyone be, and just be happy, be positive, and just be there for other people whenever they need me. And also strong enough to ask questions, not just be in the dark and suffer by myself or go through things when I'm like having the courage to ask questions, ask for help. That's a big thing for me, having that courage.
What keeps you hopeful in a place like this?
It's a lot of things really, but my faith first and foremost, my faith in God, definitely that really like changed all of this for me, honestly. Like this whole journey, it's kept my head up. Like I've stayed positive, I've stayed strong, I've stayed hopeful.
What does your relationship look like with God?
That's like wearing clothes. Like that's every day. That's all the time. Like it never changes. It never like.
Have you always been like that, or did that happen when you were here mostly?
It happened more so while I was incarcerated, but I've always had that connection. Not as strong at times, because I grew up in the church. My grandmother was actually a pastor. So I kind of grew up that way.
That's just it again. We have to keep that. Whatever it is that you're doing there in prison, you have to do the same thing when you get out. Whatever it is that you're doing that keeps you calm. Excuse me. Whether you're meditating, whatever it is that you're doing in prison, these revelations that you have, where you want to, cultivate your character and build yourself up to a better person. You have to carry that with you to the street once you get out here. You can't just get close to God once you get in there, and then once you come home, you forget all about him. This young man is coming home soon, as we know. He's intelligent and incredibly bright. He has a lot of potential. He can change the world. He can cure cancer. Seriously, I mean, we don't know what he can offer to society that can change all of our lives, given the chance. But he just needs to stick with what he's saying and apply himself once he comes home. Not just right here, right now in the interview, but once you come home. And I have faith in you, brother, that you can do just that you will do just that.
God in my life and having an understanding, even though, when my grandmother passed, I didn't really go to church anymore. But since I've been in here, just being on that walk, like just learning the truth, like, and it's even been bigger than that. Like I've just took my time to not just stick to one area of learning that, but just learning different aspects, different cultures of God, what other people think, so I could, empathize with other people and their cultures and understandings to get a bigger view of God and myself and faith and what that means and stuff like that. So it's been a powerful journey, and definitely.
And God talks a lot about redemption. So like, what does redemption mean to you now?
Redemption to me means, first of all, understanding who I was and why I was that way. I understand that in the terms of like, I don't want to be like that because I've experienced all the things that came with being like that. So now I got to understand why. And once I understand why,
do you know why now?
Why? Just because, like I said, like I was a kid, I was immature. I was selfish at times.
But did it come from something deeper, like a relationship with your parents or something that happened to you when you were younger? Or just not knowing who you were and putting it all into something like sports or music or, not really?
It was a lot of little things, honestly, that led up to that. Like I didn't grow up in a two-parent household, meaning like my biological mother wasn't there. Love her. I have an excellent relationship with her. It's just my father raised me. And just certain things, like my story not bigger than the next person's or anything, but just certain things that I went through in my life, certain losses that I've had as a family and my family and stuff that affected me. And I feel some of those things contributed to me having this attitude of just not caring. Like that was my thing. Like whenever I got in trouble, they asked I don't care. I always used to say that. And it was like a stubborn thing. But honestly, if someone would have really asked me like, why you don't care, I wouldn't have been able to answer.
Yeah. And his story is not bigger than anyone else's, and neither is his life, and neither is my life, and neither is your life. And that's the whole point. And I believe he gets that now when he says that he's learning different religions in order to understand them and their plight and their beliefs, in order to respect them, basically. And he also mentioned that, he leaves people alone and let them live their life and be who they are, believe in what they believe in, and do what they do without judgment and without thinking that your life and your belief is more important than the next person. And when you stop believing that, then you'll treat everyone with respect, everyone. Because you won't judge them. You'll say whatever they do is different than what I do, but my way of life may not be any better than theirs. And vice versa. Who am I to say that what I'm doing is more right than what they're doing? Once you internalize that and digest it and live your life accordingly, then you'll respect everyone. You'll have a better understanding of everyone. You'll have more patience with people, more tolerance and more peace, more love in your heart at the end of the day for everyone. When you understand that we are just who we are, bro. And I believe he gets it now. Let it carry on, brother. Let it carry on once you get here.
Like
At that time.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to answer it at that time.
Have you forgiven yourself?
I definitely have, and I definitely continue to forgive myself because that's an everyday journey. My thing is never get comfortable. Never get comfortable. I don't ever want to get comfortable and think that I've made it or I'm good now. I could take my foot off the gas pedal. None of that. Like never get comfortable. I'm always growing for the rest of my life. Wherever I'm at in life, whatever I achieve, I'm always growing, and I always have to commit to that.
And there's a lot of kids right now watching this and probably in the same shoes that you were in when you're 18 years old that also was big sports people and trying to figure out who they are after that. Mm-hmm. And probably in some bad situations, what would you tell them?
I would definitely tell them, and that's big because I really want to get out there and give back to the youth because I was like that. And I just want to tell them first and foremost, no matter what it is in life that you are doing, whatever your dreams are, your goals are, or what you're doing or what you're going through, you got to stop and you got to take a break and you got to realize who you are. You got to learn yourself. You got to understand yourself. You got to realize whether you believe it or not because of your circumstance that you really are a blessing in this world. And once you learn that, your life can be powerful. You can change other people's lives. You can uplift yourself. Like, you have to know that. You got to know that you really are a blessing. And anything that you do, those are just skills that you could acquire, that you could do. You could really be whatever you want to be. But none of that matters until you really know who you are. When you know who you are and know that you are loved, even if you don't feel that love, you love. Like, you really are. It's somebody that's going to love you out there. It's somebody that does love you out there. And when you love yourself, like, anything is possible, literally.
And when you leave this room today, what's one thing you want people to remember you by?
One thing I want people to remember me by, I was a boy. I turned into a man now, and not just a man for myself, but for my community, for my people, for my family, for my loved ones, and anybody that comes into my contact. I'm respectful. I'm trying to exude love and help, and I'm just trying to be a better man every day.
Well, I definitely feel that from you, and I thank you for your time and your words, and it's really inspiring to see your evolution in this journey that's not easy. And I hope that this interview reaches as many kids and people as possible. So.
Yeah, I hope that it reaches a lot of people as well. Shout out to that young man. Be safe in there. Continue on your journey of self-discovery, self-revelation, self-development, and make it out. Be safe once you get out here. And, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I would just encourage everyone. I don't want to preach. Just briefly, I just encourage everyone to just think before you act. Because if you do not, you'll have a lifetime to think about your actions in reverse, in reflection. but nothing you can do about it then. It just be a thought. Think, have those thoughts before the action, before you do something ill-advised, something that can cost you your life, cost you your freedom. Think about it first. Is this worth it? The answer is going to be no. Is this worth it? Me losing my life, my freedom, doing life? No. No. And then just don't do it. But you have to think first. Myself included. Stay safe and stay free, people.